Alabama has been ravaged by injuries. I'm not gonna lie, this one's crazy. A tumultuous day right now in Tuscaloosa. I'm not gonna lie, Alabama has been ravaged by injuries. We know they had a big time fall scrimmage. Chuck McDonald, Marshall Pritchard with some guys that obviously stood out there in the scrimmage. But since they have had some major injuries, man, and the first one up is A.K. Deer. Okay, he came from Quitman, Mississippi. He's expected to have a large role this year for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and he was dealt with the injury today. That is massive, obviously, for Alabama. Now, here is the latest on this. Okay, 1 second. Here we go. So Pete Nakos had the report. Alabama will miss an extended period of time after suffering an ankle injury. Charlie Potter and Pete Nakos report. Okay, so here is the report. He's saying roughly about 6 weeks. And then we also had an update. This is via iTalk SEC. He said AK Deer had tightrope surgery today and will be out 2 months likely. Now, 6 weeks and 2 months is two different things. 2 months is 8 weeks. 6 weeks is, a month and 2 weeks. All right. So he says he's been nicked up a lot in the spring and now it continues to miss practice with various bumps and bruises. So at least for a little while, perhaps longer, Alabama is down to 3 running backs: Hill, Riley, and Brown. Fourth county, Khalifa Keith. All right. So that is what you have currently right there. Obviously, I don't know why he didn't throw in Xavier Crowell. I would think that would be another one that he would throw in there. But he is down. He's going to be out for quite some time. And Alabama has to move in a different direction in terms of who they're going to have. But that gives more reps to guys like Hill. I think Xavier Crowell is another one who they've been kind of pacing along a little bit. He will be another one that they try to give a little bit of more PT to. Okay. Now, in addition to that, there was also another injury for this true freshman that's been standing out in Jordan Edmonds. Remember, he's a 5-star prospect from Sprayberry, was a major recruit for them. He's going to miss at least a few weeks with a lower body injury, obviously by Scarborough and Brett Greenberg, who does an outstanding job, and the third highest recruit in Crimson Tide 2026 class. Now, we know when it comes to cornerback, they got Xavier Brown, right? They got Dijon Lee. Like, we know they're extremely talented there, but this is kind of a blow to their depth a little bit because you look at those guys are good. Those guys are elite, but you are going to need, guys that can go in and funnel in there and being able to rotate in. So I think that's another major injury with obviously Jordan Edmonds also being out for the next few weeks, man. So just goes to show fall camp, scrimmages, a lot of different things happen, man. And unfortunately, you get nicked up in some major injuries. But for Alabama, the major two are Edmonds right now and A.K. Deer, who's expected to miss about 6 to 8 weeks, looks like, with an ankle injury and had that tightrope surgery. Okay. Now, a little bit from the scrimmage. This is obviously caught by Brett Greenberg. You guys can get a little bit of a look at it. I will not play the audio so I don't get copyrighted, but let's take a little bit of a look at what we're seeing. So from Alabama football, I think my biggest takeaway is I'm seeing the physicality, right? Now, obviously, it's very early. It's spring practice. I mean, it's spring practice, excuse me, it's fall scrimmage, fall camp. But I'm seeing the physicality. Nothing is coming easy. The defenders are all up on them. I'm seeing the running back having to miss, have to make multiple people miss at the point of attack. And I'm seeing them just, continue to display that physicality, which has been a question in the Kalen DeBoer era. So early on, that's some things that obviously stand out to me when it comes down to it. And I'm seeing them obviously being able to be physical, being able to make the plays consistently, and being able to just make it obviously tough. So that's some early standouts. And obviously, Brett talked about Luke Metz, Chuck McDonald, and Marshall Pritchard as some guys. Stock that is obviously going up, for that full intel. Y'all boys know where to go. All right. But that is the major thing there as far as the scrimmage goes. As far as the latest with the injuries with Alabama, my early thoughts, it's a part of the process. It's a part of the thing that you're going to have, right? Not saying you would rather have injuries right now, but it gives the young guys reps, right? And it's very important. Like, a lot of people lose lose sight of that. Like I talked about Tennessee earlier, like some young guys are going to have to step up, like Joel Wyatt, right? DeJuan Lane, who's been in the team for quite a while, Sidney Walton, right? When we go to Alabama, some of these other guys are going to have to step up to the youth, right? And it builds that. So when you go later in the season, y'all know going through a 12-game college football season plus 3 to 4 more games, 4 games if you go to a national championship game, you're going to have injuries. You're going to get nicked up. It's a physical sport. You got to have guys that can go in there and you don't miss a beat. So that gives your freshmen, your sophomores, guys that have been behind in the rotation, guys that haven't been playing a lot. They get those reps. So then when it's time for them to go into the game, if there is an injury or something happens, you have to depend on them. You don't feel bad. You don't feel like, oh, man, he's going to mess this up, right? Because they already got the reps in when you needed it the most, right? So I think to me that's very important. And I think these guys are going to have to get these reps in and get a lot better. Like the first thing I think of is EJ Crowell. This is great for him. He was already getting reps, but he's going to get even more reps now, obviously with the first team and obviously along with Daniel Hill, right? I look at the cornerback room, right? Some of these young thoroughbreds are coming in there, right? They get to get more reps. I think all of that is very important when you're building the team and building what you want it to be at the end of the day, right? And it's a big year for Alabama, right? Because while they did make the college football playoff, while they did go win 9+ games, right? While they did defeat Oklahoma on the road in the first round of the playoffs, people are still questioning Kalen DeBoer and national media, even their own, well, I don't say their own media, but even their own fans are questioning like the validity of Kalen DeBoer, right? And I don't think that's fair. I think Kalen DeBoer has done some great things, right? But I think for people to ease up, this ain't Nick Saban. That's number one. Number two, I think you got to see a more physical team. It's okay to lose the first game, right? But like this year, if you lost to Florida State, that's a problem, right? Because Florida State's not expected to be very good this year, right? So those first couple of weeks, like you got to beat Florida State. And you got to win the line of scrimmage. That's the most important thing when it comes to Alabama. Winning the line of scrimmage, it ain't going to be the level of physicality that you maybe got before with Nick Saban. But if you win the line of scrimmage, you're being physical, you're doing what you're supposed to do, just running the attacks back on track, and you do what you have to, this team should be much better. You know what I'm saying? In my humble opinion. So that's going to be obviously very important for them moving forward. But last thing I want to talk about before we move on from Alabama is the fall scrimmage intel. And latest is just the latest talking about what happened in there. And I think it's very intriguing, in my humble opinion, for Alabama. Hold on 1 second. Because there's a QB battle. And like I told y'all, if Alabama doesn't want to have those issues, they got to figure out quarterback. And I think to me, it's still Keelan, right? But obviously, Coach DeBoer has said it's still neck and neck, nip and tuck. It's tight, right? But to me, that is who I'm going to go roll with because I feel like he has the best rapport with Derek Meadows, with the Ryan Coleman Williams, with the Latier Brooks, with these guys, and he's going to be able to make the plays. But let's look at this Yahoo Sports article from Hunter DeSilver talking about some things that obviously stood out here. Okay, it looks like he says, I mean, there were times we had a couple tip balls, so the DBs did a nice job making the play because they're picking it right up off the ground, and those plays aren't always made. It was just gimmies. Sheesh, this is not written well. I thought there were some good plays where we had yards after the catch. I thought the running backs were chewing up some yards and got better as the scrimmage went on. Okay, let's see what else he said. On the flip side, the Pearson wide receivers ran past the cornerbacks and safeties. The wide receiver room will look much different from last year as Alabama will have to replace 2 2025 starters and pair them along with Ryan Coleman Williams. Okay, of course. Let's see what else DeBoer had to say. He says, so I think our D-line's just been really consistent. That's a good sign. I don't want to take that for granted, so I should mention that I have an expectation for them. I think they've done a nice job. So I thought the tight ends, as the scrimmage went along, got better. So getting guys in every snap that we take, it matters, especially with the young guys across the board on our football team. And let's see if he said anything else. So looks like defensive line obviously stood out. Looks like wide receivers once again was doing their work. And it looks like the running backs kind of got going, you know what I'm saying, as, you know, the scrimmage went on. No real mention of the quarterbacks, as you guys can see. But I think the biggest takeaway I would say is the defensive line standing out. And that's what you want. You need the trenches to dominate. If you're going to be a good team this year for Alabama, you have to be able to dominate the line of scrimmage. And if the D-line is consistent, that gives you more reason to feel better about your squad, more reason to feel like, okay, we're good. We're going to be okay. We're going to do what we need to do. That is very important moving forward for obviously the Alabama Crimson Tide. So those are some obviously big takeaways for them in the scrimmage. Like I said, we saw the physicality. We saw how they were coming. But D-line just being consistent obviously is major for them moving forward. And looks like they're going to have Caleb Edwards as the starting tight end and pass catcher this year after all SEC freshman campaign. But that is the latest around Alabama. That's my thoughts. That's my reaction. Injuries in the latest fall camp intel. So I got for you guys for today, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hype the video, and make sure you share and tell a friend. And always remember, it's peace and blessings.